Welcome back to K-DramaHaventv, your home for the hottest, messiest, juiciest K-entertainment gist. Today, we're diving deep into one of the biggest dramas to shake the entire K-pop industry in 2025, the NewJeans and ADOR saga. This story has everything: power struggles, leaked documents, emotional lives, legal battles, fandom wars, and a comeback that shocked everyone. So settle in, because this gist is long, detailed, and absolutely wild from beginning to end. The storm around NewJeans and ADOR didn't start in just one day. It has been brewing for months, maybe even years, depending on who you ask. The whole drama kicked off when tensions between ADOR's CEO, Min Hee-jin, and parent company Hybe finally exploded into the public eye. Before then, fans knew there were small signs of friction, like disagreements over promotions or strategy. But nobody, not even the die-hard fans, expected things to escalate into one of the biggest corporate battles in K-pop history. When Hybe came forward accusing Min Hee-jin of attempting to take ADOR away from the company through a so-called coup, the internet went on fire. Hybe claimed they had evidence that she was planning an internal takeover, talking to outside investors, and trying to gain control of the label. Min Hee-jin denied it all and fired back immediately, saying Hybe was twisting things, trying to take creative control from her, and treating NewJeans unfairly behind the scenes. That back and forth alone created a massive divide in the K-pop community. Suddenly, it wasn't just a business disagreement. It became a fight over artistic integrity, idol treatment, mental health, and the future of NewJeans. As this was happening, NewJeans was caught in the middle. They weren't saying much publicly, but every little expression, every body language moment, every stylistic choice was being analyzed by fans and the media. People questioned whether the girls were being overworked or sidelined. Others wondered whether Min Hee-jin's claims about their schedules, their music, and their concept being mishandled by Hybe were true. The fan tension between NewJeans supporters, Hybe loyalists, and people who simply enjoy drama became intense. Things went even further when Min Hee-jin held a public press conference that turned the industry upside down. She spoke openly, emotionally, and sometimes angrily, calling out Hybe executives directly, mentioning internal meetings, disagreements, and what she felt was mistreatment. She even cried at one point, and clips of that moment spread everywhere. Some people said she was brave for exposing the dirty side of the industry. Others said she was being dramatic or manipulative. But one thing was clear: she wasn't holding back. Hybe shot back with statements of their own, including what they claimed were chat logs and documents supporting their accusations. Min Hee-jin insisted those logs were misinterpreted and taken out of context. Fans were reading the documents like they were reading a novella. Words were twisted, screenshots were zoomed in on. Every timestamp became a clue in this corporate mystery case. And while all this was happening, NewJeans' activities slowed down drastically, which fueled even more suspicion that things behind the scenes were tense. The emotional toll on the members began to worry fans. People were wondering how 5 young girls were supposed to handle being at the center of a billion-dollar fight. Even simple appearances by NewJeans became headline news because everyone was searching for signs of stress or solidarity. But despite the chaos around them, the girls stayed professional. No outbursts, no direct statements, no messy posts. They just continued doing their work quietly, which ironically made people love them even more. Then came the legal actions. ADOR filed their challenges. Hybe filed theirs. Courts stepped in. Judges made temporary decisions. Every week there was a new twist. At one point, it felt like we were all watching the real-life version of a legal drama K-drama. People were making TikToks, breaking down court rulings. Fans were posting threads explaining the business structure of Hybe like they were corporate lawyers. K-pop had officially turned into a law school assignment. Through all of this, one question remained. What would happen to NewJeans? Would they leave ADOR? Would they remain under Min Hee-jin? Would Hybe take over the group? Would the girls go silent for months? Every day, someone claimed to have insider information. Some said the group would be reassigned. Others said the members were loyal to Min Hee-jin. Nothing was confirmed, and everything was speculation. Then, just when people thought the feud might end with a split, a twist happened. news broke that NewJeans would be returning to ADOR following the legal dispute. That announcement shocked everyone because it meant one thing: the girls were staying with the label they debuted under. Min Hee-jin effectively regained control of ADOR's direction, and despite all the fighting and drama, NewJeans was coming home. Fans screamed, the internet exploded, the hashtag trended globally within minutes. For many fans, this felt like a victory for artistic authenticity. Min Hee-jin has always been credited as the mastermind NewJeans' unique style, their visuals, their concept, and even their sound. People worried that if the group lost her, they would lose their identity. The idea of them returning to ADOR under her leadership brought relief, excitement, and a sense of justice to many supporters who believed she was fighting not for herself, but for the girls. Of course, not everyone agreed. Some felt HYBE was right to question her actions, and others said the whole situation exposed deep problems within the K-pop system. But regardless of sides, everyone can agree that NewJeans' return to ADOR became one of the biggest turning points of the year. The industry watched, other idols watched, producers watched, companies watched. This moment will influence how entertainment labels operate for years. What made the story even more emotional was how NewJeans eventually responded through their actions. Their performances regained spark. Their public appearances looked more relaxed. Their interactions with Min Hee-jin appeared warm and genuine, confirming to many fans that the bond between the CEO and her artists was not just business, it was personal. Whether people like her or not, Min Hee-jin has always been vocal about protecting her artists, and this entire saga proved just how far she was willing to fight for them. And let's not lie, this entire event taught the K-pop industry a lesson. It showed that artists are not just products of a big entertainment machine. They have relationships, creative partners, and people behind their image who shape their entire journey. It also showed that fandoms today are powerful and highly informed. You can't hide things from them. You can't dismiss their concerns. They will dig, analyze, critique, translate, and expose anything that seems off. As NewJeans prepares for their next chapter under ADOR, all eyes are on them. Their comeback is expected to be one of the most impactful of the year because the context around it is so heavy. People aren't just listening for music anymore. They're listening for symbolism. They're reading the lyrics. They're watching the choreography. They're analyzing the concept photos. Every piece of their next release will be studied like it's a message to the world. And honestly, that's why this story is so huge. This wasn't just a lawsuit. This wasn't just company drama. This was a moment that redefined how young artists are protected, how female-led creative teams are valued, and how fans can influence billion-dollar decisions. The NewJeans and ADOR saga will be remembered for a long time, not just because of the legal battle, but because it proved that even in an industry controlled by massive corporations, the heart and soul of artistry still matters. So whether you supported HYBE, Min Hee-jin, or you were just here for the entertainment, one thing is clear: NewJeans survived the storm, and they're stepping into a future where they have more respect, more attention, and more power than ever before. And honestly, after everything they've gone through, they deserve every bit of that success. If you enjoyed this deep dive and you want more long-form K-pop scandals, drama breakdowns, or celebrity gist, stay tuned to K-DramaHaventv. More stories are coming, and trust me, this industry never runs out of drama.